Hi, my name is Maddie. I'm going to be your instructor for today. So the way I like to begin class is with a little warm-up activity. I usually like to ask a question to the class just to get things rolling and to get everybody talking. And today I'm going to be asking the question for you here. What is a food that you could eat for the rest of your life and never get tired of? So what is your favorite food? Could you eat it for the rest of your life? Who made it, or is it from a restaurant that you like to go to on occasion? Would you be able to eat it for the rest of your life? That's the main question. And if so, what do you like about it so much? And yeah, if I were to answer the question myself, I would say pizza would be my go-to food, just because it can come in so many different varieties and it could have so many different flavors. And I feel like I could probably never get tired of it, or at least I hope I would never get tired of it. So there's that, which I think is great. So let me know what you think. I would love to hear your responses. You can go right ahead. So now that that is covered, I'm going to jump into today's lesson on modal verbs. So we use modal verbs pretty much every day in our speech and in our grammar and language vernacular. So you're asking, what is a modal verb? Good question. So when we use modal verbs, we use them to express certain things. So we use them to express necessity. We use them to express possibility. Then we use them to express ability, or capability, I should say. There we go. And let me see, let's try obligations. And we use them to express sometimes beliefs about certain things. So modal verbs are part of the auxiliary verb category. So in case you want to recap on what auxiliary verbs are. So when we think of auxiliary verbs, the main ones you have are be, have, and do. And what are the modal verbs that we use primarily for these things? So we've got, let me see. So we've got, let me just see. You can use can, would, use, oops, fall over first. That doesn't fall over first, we'll leave that as that. You can use, let me see if I can think of it. You can use should, that's another. You can see all that down there. And then you can also use might. And I'll give you some demonstrations shortly. Let me just write these out. And you can also use will. So, there are different ways that you can, like I said, use modal verbs, and they can express different meanings. Let me just see if I can write out one sentence for you just for a demonstration, just so you can see what they look like. I'm not sure I can go over it except, so I'll skip that for now. Let's see, so let's try would stay. Oops, that's not staying. Would you like some tea? And question mark. So here, would, as we described, would be the modal verb in use. And then for the other one, let's do this now. We could use you, oops. And which one would be used here? You can point it out. Should is the other. And then for another one, let's see. You must try this dessert. Alright, so must is the other form of modal verb. Now, must can be used in a couple of different ways. It can be used as, let's see, it can be used as a necessity, like you must try this, or it can also be used in terms of possibilities. So let me see. Let's see, say if it were like a cop looking for the suspect in an investigation, if he saw footprints on the ground, he could say, he must have gone that way. Excuse my messy writing there. So must being the other word. So let me just see. I might have to erase something. That's okay. So we have the normal modal verbs, but we also have another category of modal verbs here. So I'll get that in a second as soon as I clean this off. I have to do a bit of different clean. So when, oops, I think I lost my cap. I guess I'll have to do that. Yeah, I'll do that for now. Sorry, I'm off to be facing the camera. So the other thing is we have semi-modal verbs. So these are similar to the regular modal verbs, but they do have their differences, and I will explain that. So, like I said, they are connected somewhat to the auxiliary verbs. They could be used in sentences with like have to. Must is also considered semi-modal. Let's see if I can remember all that. Let's see, be able to is one, and ought to, that is an important one right there. So, I'm using have to. What do you think would be an appropriate sentence for that? Do you have to go to the mall tomorrow? Could be classified as one. In terms of must, I think we already qualified that, so that's also one. Be able to. You should be able to see the stage from here. That's good, so we can stick to one. And ought to is certainly something different. So ought to is generally used in regular sentences. It doesn't get used in any questions of anything like that. So one example could be, he ought to be, working. So it could be classified as one. Oh yes, and I guess I should also go over the different meanings in terms of the modal verbs in general. So we've got I'll just cover it quickly. We've got the regular modal verbs of can, would, should, might, and will. Then we also have the semi-modal verbs. So we have to, must, be able to, and ought. And those are my demonstrated sentences. And let me just see if there's anything else I can do here. I think, yeah, I'll go over this one. I'll erase these ones just so we can get some room. Let's see. Sorry, I'm about to stick this around, but I do not have a ton of room on my board for right now, so just bear with me. Let's see. Oh yeah, so maybe I should have done that, but that's okay. So we have multiple meanings in these things. So actually, I probably should go back to those ones actually. So let's try can. That is a modal verb. So can be used for permissive reason, permission. So let's see. You would say, can I borrow your book? For a question. it can also be used for a possibility. So you would say, you can borrow it tomorrow. That would be also one. Like future, I should say future possibility. And then let's say if you wanted to use should as an example for that. So we have should, it could be used for suggestion. You would say, shouldn't, say for instance, shouldn't he be doing his schoolwork? That could be classified as one. And it could also be used for advice. Do that. So if you wanted to use it for advice, you would say he should get up tomorrow and do his homework. So that's good. Let's try to put a little example down here, maybe. Shouldn't he? Once. And then he should, etc., etc., etc. And for another couple ones, I would say might, which can be used for either suggestion. So if we were to do that, we would say, for example, you might want to write it down. So write it down, so you don't forget. That's also one. Sorry about that. And then the other one is, say, for disapproval, which is not often used, but sometimes it is. Disapproval. So in that case, say if somebody's feeling particularly annoyed about something, if something happened, you'd say, you might have, oops, yeah, we should use this one actually, my bad. You would say, in terms of disapproving statements, you might have, you can see that, left a note. That is one in particular. Alright, so we've gotten most of the modal verbs covered. Can, should, ought, I would think. Or ought, sorry, ought's that one. Then we also have the semi-modal verbs, like have, must, be able to, ought. And as you can see the demonstrated sentences here, so hopefully that's clear. And now I will write a couple on the board for you to guess. Let me just cover this up. So I will do a few questions for you just so you can have a practice at it. If you have any questions, just let me know. So look at that. So, in terms of questions, let me just see. Alright, so practice, let's try that. So, if you were, let's say this one, you want to invite your friend over. So you want to invite your friend over. What do you ask them? You would say, would you like to come over? So that's one. And for a second question, let's try this. So there is There is a smell coming from your garbage. What do? What is the appropriate response? You would say, I must take out, first, the garbage. There, that's pretty okay. So that would be your answer. So, if you have any questions, just let me know. I'm open to responding and answering questions if you have any. So in terms of modal verbs, let's do a little quick run through. So if you want to do a modal verb, you can use can, should, would, will, am. Those are one of those, you can use those. And then you can also use the semi-modal verbs, have to, must, be able to, ought, and that sort of thing. So I believe that concludes our lesson for today. If you have any questions, just let me know. I would be happy to answer them. Thank you very much.